What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up a very impressive 5.59%, 324 the low, 359 the high. And the market's been open roughly around 3 hours, and there's already 61.9 million shares being traded. 78.3 is the average. So a lot of good FOMO going on, and I think there's a couple of different attributing factors. One is the latest 13Fs signaling more and more institutions are starting to buy in. Of course, all of that is delayed information, all occurring during Q4, but nonetheless pretty good stuff, as you can kind of see right here. And then aside from that, earnings. So earnings is roughly, I think, 7 days away, 8 or whatever else, on the 25th. So I think that there's a certain level of just FOMO associated to that. And just generally today, there's no substantial data points tomorrow going forward. There are some to take note of, but today is more of a technical driven day. And in Lucid's case, that is a-okay. So no official news from Lucid itself, no SEC filings, nothing like that. So it's kind of just reacting to everything I just mentioned. You also do have, very interestingly enough, shorts returning a lot. And so a lot of stocks overall are kind of moving higher today, but in a lot of cases, you're actually having shorts increasing on a lot of those other stocks. And I cover a lot of other stocks on a lot of my other YouTube channels. So this is why I kind of get used to seeing what is happening with many different sectors. And in Lucid's case, shorts are returning 3.65 million shares. 19.79% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 235.83 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 1.12. And so you can kind of see a trend starting to form. So shorts are starting to return. It was at first slowly, various, like I think it's 5 consecutive trading days in a row they were returning. Nothing really crazy amounts though, but today definitely is the straw that broke the camel's back, if that saying kind of makes sense for this circumstance. But yeah, today is definitely standing out. So there maybe see a lot more upside possibly with their upcoming earnings. So we'll just have to wait and see. Although on a side note, no changes to the estimates. So still negative 27 cents for the earnings per share, 211.77 million for revenue over the last 90 days, 1 positive and 1 negative revisions to the earnings per share, and no new analyst ratings. So last one was done that $5 price target. So no changes for that. So that one was done 6 days ago on a side note. So anticipate a lot of new ratings to come post earnings, and maybe even post Rivian earnings. Sometimes you see analysts do that before the actual earnings itself. They give ratings. Doesn't logically make sense, but that's clearly above my pay grade. But like I said, with the market open roughly 3 hours, looking at options, 2.68 million in calls, 832,000 in puts, 52% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So you're seeing a lot more volume today. So 3.5 million so far. So probably will settle roughly around that 6 million, most likely. If there is some substantial changes after the market closes, I'll do a follow-up video if necessary. But I think just based on a lot of the options, looking at the put/call ratio, a lot of them were insinuating and pointing that we were going to have higher highs. So I think all of this put together, along with their technicals, it's signaling that it's going to continue to move on up. Based on this, so of the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 450. Next week, you're starting to see a consensus for it to be above 5. So a lot of optimism for that. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub $3. So in my opinion, still a lot more upside. These are all the transactions occurring so far on the secondary market above $100,000. So strings of buying right here, and then first thing as well, some selling, but again, I think based on the overall frequency, definitely today does stand out. These are all the transactions as well occurring on the dark pool. Dark pool is always very popular with Lucid because shorts typically use that alongside big institutions. And so yeah, dark pool is always popular. But aside from that, with it at $3.48, trading between this R2 and this R1, $3.40 is going to be that next strong support. So just watch for that to hold into the next couple of trading days. And then 364 is going to be that next strong target / resistance, followed by 403. So with their earnings coming right around the corner, you could see a nice continuation of shorts returning and then potentially getting above this R2. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Aside from all that fun stuff though, looking on the actual chart, like I said, today was more going to be a technical driven day, and in Lucid's case, especially from Friday, it closing above the ALMA 50, 100 and 200 day moving averages, you were going to see higher highs. One thing to take note of, as I brought up in my video a couple of days back, it is considered rather overbought. So potentially the first sign of weakness specific to Lucid or just the broader market, you could see some volatility. FOMC minutes are coming out tomorrow. I don't anticipate any negativity to come from that. I think everything has already been priced into the market, but you never know if, let's say, they were potentially thinking about rate hikes. That would be kind of out of the blue, out of the box. Market wouldn't like that. So that could be a potential thing that causes some disruption. But nonetheless, Lucid is looks like it's on a warpath to continue on up. So let me know your viewpoint on Lucid. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with Lucid? And as well, I just wanted to kind of bring up as well, while I'm here, no new articles or anything like that. So if you know of any speculative things that's been coming out that's also maybe driving the price higher, so if you know of anything, drop them in the comments below, any articles or whatever else. But with all that said, I appreciate all of you watching. Pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.